If Infiniti wasn't on your shopping list before, it certainly should be now. This is the 2024 Infiniti QX60, and it is one of the best mid-size SUV offerings that you'll find anywhere on the market. It has a starting price of $49,650 and works its way up to $66,000 for this, the top-of-the-line Autograph model. Now, what's special about this? Well, I personally think it's one of the better-looking mid-size SUVs, but this generation also features a real 9-speed automatic transmission produced by ZF, also produced for Mercedes, and that speaks volumes about the quality that goes into this vehicle as well. It also features a variety of other luxuries on the inside and outside that we'll talk about as we go through the exterior, the interior, the powertrain, and of course, we'll take it for a drive. So here it is, the 2024 Infiniti QX60. It looks pretty good. It's certainly an improvement over the previous generations, and by opting for the Autograph trim, which this vehicle is, you do get the black roof as well. The regular vehicles will have a body color roof, and all these center sections will be black as well, of course, with tinted glass here in the back, and you do have more sound insulation over the Pathfinder, which this is in fact based on, but features a variety of changes still in terms of overall luxuries. It does have about 6.7 inches of ground clearance, which isn't the most in the class, but it's enough where if you wanted to take it off-road on light forest trails, it shouldn't be a problem, and certainly enough clearance for going over speed bumps, but it is best suited to street and highway use. The overall styling and sculpture is a bit more slab-sided, but still has some very nice details, including the Infiniti here in the front. We do have some actual fake grills here, LED lighting, and as we come to the side here, you can even see that we have this black plastic side cladding, which will help protect it if you do take it off-road, and just generally cheaper to replace. One of the interesting things to note is the Autograph and higher trim levels receive these luxury 20-inch wheels. Now, these actually make the ride a bit more rigid than the standard 18-inch wheels that come on the lower trim models, so you actually get a softer, better experience with the smaller wheels, so that's something to keep in mind. We have our chrome cladding on the side. We do have keyless entry, and you'll find that it's actually available on all 4 doors, which is a very nice luxury. We have heated power mirrors with integrated turn signals, and we even have black roof rails here on the Autograph, which are fairly slick and blend in. You can see we also have our panoramic roof as well, so there's a bit of good capabilities here in terms of the overall usability, rain sensing wipers, in the exterior, more LED lighting, and even more to boot, the Autograph comes all-wheel drive, but we also get a power hatch. So you can of course open that with the key, or you can use the button as I just saw there, and that gives you access to the back seats, which can easily be dropped, but also raised using these buttons here in the side. So that's a pretty cool feature in terms of the overall usability of your QX60. So we'll go ahead and drop that down there. Nice and easy. You also get remote start with the key, and you get these kind of fake exhaust ports, but check this out. You get a nice tow hitch here in the back, so up to 6,000 pounds towing capacity. That's not too shabby in the QX60. So moving on to the interior of the QX60, if we open it up, it is absolutely beautiful in here. I mean, just look at this saddle color that we have. Quilted stitching here that runs through the seats with nice side bolstering, but it's also in the dash as it actually runs all the way across, as you can see there. And we even get this wood that runs into the doors. It is quite a beautiful interior. Now, dual zone climate control is standard, but here in the Autograph, we have 3-zone climate control, meaning we actually have controls here in the back that you can see as well. Now, these front seats are actually powered, heated, ventilated, and massaging seats, and it even features memory for both the driver's side and the passenger side, which is really something you don't see. That's quite a nice feature if you're going to be swapping seats with somebody else in the household. So very cool features. The rear seats in this model as well are actually heated, which is also very nice to accompany their 3-zone climate control. As you may have noticed, the Autograph here has seating for 6, although you could get seating up to 7 if you didn't want the captain's chairs here in the second row, which makes it a bit more luxurious for the top of the line model, but maybe you just want more room for kids. You can even see there's vents that run all the way back to the vehicle as well. It's just really good looking in here with plenty of space for adults in the second row. We also have the power panoramic roof, which can be opened up to create a little bit more space if you wanted it. Now, taking a little bit of a closer look here in the front, let's talk about the technology. Wow, that got instantly quiet with all the sound insulation. We'll go ahead and start it up with our push to start. Of course, the steering wheel is power adjustable and it is heated with leather around the steering wheel, which is quite nice. Easy to access buttons as well. We do have digital displays in front of the driver and the center with a heads-up display as well, which is a nice feature that is just safer, easier to use. I prefer to check my speed using the heads-up display, so it's a nice luxury to have. As we take a look in the center here, we do have our center display, which does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, along with navigation and other features. But more importantly, this Autograph has the optional 17-speaker Bose Performance Series sound system, which can be managed and adjusted and tuned to your liking, and it sounds great. This thing's also easy to use. It's available as a touchscreen if you wanted, but you also have physical controls down here as well. As far as some of the other things go, we do have a video camera rear view mirror, but you can switch it to a regular mirror if you'd like. One of the other things I like is the way that they did this. Not only does it look good, and you'll find your other climate control systems here, and including an air purifier, which is a fun feature, but it's sort of a haptic feedback. So it's got this physical touch to it to let you know when you're using it, which is nice to make sure you're not too distracted while using your buttons. Even things like the hazards are separated out, so it's a bit easier to use. We do have our shifter here in the middle, which is similar to other Nissan models like the Pathfinder, and even similar to Mercedes, which shares this gearbox. We actually have a variety of drive modes, which can be put in sport for a more responsive driving experience, personal to customize it, and of course eco, which will limit some of your throttle inputs to get a more fuel efficient experience. And if we put it in auto there, that's the general recommended driving mode. We even have paddle shifters here on the back of our leather steering wheel, so you can manually shift the vehicle. You do get a wireless phone charger. You have these cup holders here in the middle, an electric parking brake, more storage can be found here, but there's lots of nice pockets and cup holders even here on the sides. The vents are nicely integrated, so it looks quite nice, and just a general good experience here in the QX60 that I think everybody would really appreciate just how comfortable it is inside of this vehicle. So under the hood is a VQ-based 3.5-liter V6 rated for 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque, which is a serious engine. It's paired with that new 9-speed automatic transmission, which is the same one that Mercedes uses, and that speaks volumes about the transmission. Now, although standard is front-wheel drive, the Autograph you see here does get all-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive is available as an option on the other trim models. The Autograph also gets a transmission oil cooler, which boosts its towing capabilities, and it has up to a 6,000-pound towing capacity, which is fairly impressive for a mid-size SUV, along with other things like trailer sway control, hitch member receiver, and wiring harness abilities, and even the tow pre-wiring packages. Now, the QX60 weighs 4,700 pounds and achieves 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds, which is seriously fast for an SUV of something of this size and weight. A quarter mile of 14.9 seconds with a governed top speed of 119 miles per hour, which is plenty more than you can legally go in any states anyways, but more importantly means that this thing will easily get its way uphill, even when you have a variety of people and cargo inside as well. Moving on to fuel economy, the QX60 has an EPA-rated fuel economy of 20 miles per gallon city, 25 miles per gallon highway, with a rating of 22 miles per gallon combined, which means if we take that combined rating in 19.5 gallons, you should have an average range of 429 miles in mixed driving. That being said, if you take this on a road trip, which is mostly highway driving, you can certainly exceed that range and get plenty of life out of the fuel tank in your QX60. So not a bad vehicle for road trips or daily use. Okay, so what's it like to drive the Infiniti QX60? Well, first impressions are good. Obviously, the seats are going to be comfortable. Everything is right at your reach here as the driver, and the overall impressions of the vehicle once you actually start moving are actually pretty good. The vehicle feels rather easy to maneuver. It doesn't feel like a large 3-row SUV. It features quite maneuverable, making it really easy to park, and of course generally really easy to stay in the lanes as well. So super nice features there. One of the big things is you can feel a bit more of the bumps in this vehicle. Those bigger wheels make it so you kind of feel a little bit more, makes the vehicle feel a bit rigid, and it can be kind of off-putting from a luxury standpoint. Given that the price of this vehicle as options is almost $70,000, you kind of expect the vehicle to be a little bit better in terms of handling the bumps, which is actually better with the smaller wheels because they have a bit more tire than the actual bigger luxury models. So not a big deal, but it is a bit noticeable here in the higher trim models. Everything else though is quite nice. The visibility of the heads-up display, very nice features that you can find on the inside of this thing. Not to mention, once you're merging on a freeway like this, if you go ahead and get on the pedal a bit to get up the freeway speeds, it does that quite quickly. So we said that 0 to 60 time about 6.2 seconds there. So really nice in terms of the general acceleration. The 9-speed's really smooth there. There's no jerking back motion or anything like that. You do still have a bit of body roll in turns because this is a fairly heavy vehicle at 4,700 pounds. But it's actually really quiet. Now that we're at freeway speeds here, it's actually really quiet. There's actually almost zero wind noise, I would say, and you can't really hear any road noise from the other vehicles around you. So from that perspective, if you spend a lot of time on the freeway, this is quite nice. And with that Bose premium audio system, it's going to make it even better for the overall listening and just enjoyment of this vehicle. So this is quite impressive. And obviously there's not quite as many cracks or things on the freeway, and so you also have a very smooth ride here. So overall, quite a nice experience, slightly better with the smaller wheels, but it is a nice ride here in the QX60. So in conclusion, the 2024 Infiniti QX60 is one of the best mid-size SUVs that you can buy today. And if you weren't considering it before, it should certainly be on your list now. Now, as far as which QX60 do you buy? Well, the lower base trims that are front-wheel drive do get better gas mileage. So if that's a strong consideration for you, consider looking at the front-wheel drive models as opposed to the Autograph, which comes standard with all-wheel drive. That being said, all-wheel drive can be applied to every trim level, so you can choose the amenities and luxuries that you want and then just add all-wheel drive if that's a necessity because you live somewhere where it snows or rains a lot. So those are important things to consider, but it makes this fairly versatile. With the new changes that we have for this new generation, like that 9-speed automatic transmission, which is absolutely fantastic, that makes every option fantastic as well. The only thing I would say to consider is by getting the bigger size 20-inch luxury wheels that are available on the higher trims, it does make the ride a little bit rougher in certain instances just because of the bigger wheel space makes less tire cushion, but it's still fairly smooth all around. So I would strongly consider at least taking one for a test drive. But with that, that's going to be the end of the video. Feel free to comment down below and let me know what you think about the QX60, or if you already own one, let us know about your ownership experience down below. If you could go ahead and hit that like button for me, I'd really appreciate it, and consider getting subscribed for more content like this in the future. With that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.